and then firebolted a bunch of beholder babies, and then took a rest. Long one, to be precise.
Said, fuck them kids.
Yeah, I'm not on that.
Hey, man, I don't fucking blame you. Like, beholders, I feel like if there was anything that you can feel perfectly comfortable just murdering their offspring, like, yeah.
Yeah, they're scary fucking things.
Right.
They need to be killed on sight.
Oh, it is, yeah. No.
So you guys start packing up your camp in the morning, and I assume just continuing on towards the point marked on your map, right?
So, what are we doing when we get to the dwarf place, anyway?
Being less dead, ideally.
Are you sure they'll, like, help us?
At this point, we'll take any faction that isn't trying to kill us.
Yeah, but, like, what if we get there and they won't open the doors because they're dwarves and dwarves are dicks like that?
Hey, wait a minute.
No offense, present company excluded. You just have some super secret thing that I don't know about. Maybe you run it in a side entrance while we're all stuck outside. I don't know.
If that happens, we'll come up with a different plan. We won't know until we get there.
The answer is, if they are at least neutral towards us, they'll be less hostile than literally everything else.
I hate my life.
Yep.
So, as you travel on, you do notice that the tunnels are becoming much less Underdarky. Like, you're definitely getting out of the Underdark, and you also start to notice that there are Dwarven-made supports at some intermittent points. Not super often, but just where you notice that the cave would be a little bit weak. Noticeably that there would be dripping water and things like that, where the dwarves would have these supports and things of that nature. But you think that you're definitely on the right track at this point, Gil.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like we're getting pretty close.
So how much farther out do we have?
You guys have traveled this is the 4th day now?
Yeah, this will be started day 4, yeah.
Yeah, and it was going to take you 10 days to get there.
Fucking hell. Is V dead?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. She got fucking disintegrated.
Yeah, she's a pile of ashes.
She is dead.
I think you need, like, a super high res spell to even bring that back, don't you?
You need Wish or
is it, Wish, yeah.
Resurrection.
We're going to have to recruit a new DNPC along the way. Maybe
Not
3
happening.
or 4.
100% not happening.
So
as you continue on.
So yeah, as we continue on to think about how V is just absolutely just gone.
I mean, I didn't really know her, so I don't feel that bad.
Well, she was a good fighter. Didn't really do much in the face of a disintegration, right? But
yeah, but part of me always wonders if she would still be alive had we not brought her along with us in the first place.
Can't fight a war without soldiers.
Fair. Yeah, I also don't like soldiers who are not particularly willing.
What did you say?
The way I see it.
Oh, me? Or Tim?
You did.
Oh. I'm not a fan of soldiers who aren't particularly willing. She didn't have much a choice in the matter.
Well, none of us do. Those dragon men, the Dino Riders, you know, they kill everyone. That's not another Dino Rider.
True enough.
Yeah. Been like that for a while now.
How long is a while?
As long as you've been alive, Physic, but that's not necessarily that long.
No, there was a good time, well, with a few clever setups, we got the humans and the orcs to war, and then I got all the goblins and hobgoblins, and we went and killed all those people, and, took a bunch of prisoners, and I was like, wow, look at us, this is great. And then those Dino Riders came along and fucked it all up.
I
And,
see.
Yeah, it was like a year or two ago. But I'm like, I'm like 10, which is like pretty old for a goblin.
Mm.
Gil, you notice up ahead that there is a fairly obvious to your eyes pressure plate, but if somebody was moving pretty quickly, and it definitely looks Dwarven made, you would assume that it's some sort of a pressure plate that would. Go ahead and roll me an investigation. I was just going to give it to you, but no, if you want to figure out what the trap actually is. But otherwise, you guys can just avoid it and keep going.
I am going to point out that careful and also Spider Theo, don't run over that. But
If I recall, we're actually all hauling this thing because
no, we had a
Yeah.
we
Well, no, you can do it now because you long rested. You can shapeshift again.
Oh, I didn't know we long rested.
Yeah, we got as far as we possibly could before we're like, all right, fuck this noise.
Yep.
All right, investigation, not particularly a strong suit. Yeah, great. John rolls a strike again. That's 6 + 1. So I have no idea what it does.
Nope.
It's just there. Don't touch it.
Ooh,
Yep.
ooh. I could do it. I could stand 30 feet away and do it.
I'm going to
Should
stand
do
at
it,
least
Buzz.
60 feet away while you do that.
At least if we trigger it, it might give us some indication as to who said it and why, and what we're in for if we go anywhere around it.
I feel like I'm learning to speak spider. This is concerning.
That's what I
Maybe
thought
we
to
can-
myself.
We can like hide behind something and trigger it. See what it does.
Bones of Dwarvish make, if it triggers someone to come out here and take a look, that might help us out in the long term.
Yeah, it'll save us some time.
And kill whoever triggers it.
I mean, that's
Wow.
also possible. I literally have no idea what it does.
I was gonna try to use my mage hand to trigger it. See if I could do that. Depends on how much weight it takes. I can't do a whole lot.
I have a hankering for
Little
grasshopper
cantrip
juice.
of mine.
Oh my
That's
God.
another thing I think to myself.
What the fuck?
Did you just say that out loud?
I can't say it out loud.
We just hear
You
those
have
little like spider noises.
God, it'd be weird to be like wood blocks smacking against each other. Because remember, this thing's enormous.
Yeah.
Should have
Wait.
taken tongues. Which tongues was the second level spell? That's pretty good.
So, you guys just going around it, or are you trying to trigger it for some reason?
I mean, if Physic wants to trigger it, I'm not going to stop Physic from
Yeah,
doing so,
I'm
but I'm
gonna
also
stand
not
as-
going to be remotely
as-
close to it when he does.
I'm gonna stand as far back as I can and try to hide behind some rocks or whatever. Find some sort of rubble.
We're all back in hiding.
Yeah,
Or-
this feels like
Let
this is
it-
about to be a rocks fall and you all
Yeah.
fucking die situation. I'm ready for it though, I guess.
Let it
I'll
go
try
on the
to use-
record. We're all back and
u-
we're all hiding.
I use my mage hand to see if my 10 pounds of force I can do with it can trigger it.
You move your mage hand over there, and you try and get it to press down, and it just doesn't seem like it has enough strength to.
I think it's one of those you gotta walk on. Someone fat, like a dwarf. I mean stout. You're very stout people.
I'm going to continue walking down this corridor and ignore anything you said.
Alright, game on. Let's go. Guess we won't trigger it. We'll never know what it does.
Nope.
As we walk by,
Yeah, it's not that hard. You go another maybe 150 feet or so, and as you round the corner, you can see that there is a large sort of stone wall with a gate on it
Oh shit.
that is set up there, and as you get closer, you can see that there are some dwarves positioned on top of this wall.
Oh no. Oh.
I mean, they're definitely dwarves.
No, I
for
know.
sure.
Oh, I'm 100% aware that this is like legit.
I would like to cast Eagle's Splendor on myself.
What?
Yeah, Eagle's Splendor.
I don't think I've ever seen that spell used.
It's one of the
before.
enhanceability things.
Okay.
So
Right
now
on.
I have advantage on charisma stuff.
Okay. The gates are probably 300 feet away, but it's decently lit. You know, there's sconces up along the wall. What do you guys want to do?
I thought we weren't supposed to be here for a while.
This isn't where we're headed. This is an outpost by the looks of it.
Oh.
Are we? So we're above ground now?
No, you're still underground.
Weird.
This is just kind of like a checkpoint. It would, well, Gil, you 100% know this to be a checkpoint or an outpost or something like that. Everybody else is probably like, yeah, what the fuck is this, dude?
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, this is an outpost in the Underdark. It's pretty common.
So do you know these guys or what?
No, I do not know them personally.
Oh.
I'm assuming that not all dwarves know each other.
Yeah, do you know every goblin that
What?
exists?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we kind of hang out together.
No, wait, hold on. Excuse me?
Very short lifespan. The Warrens are, I mean, yeah, like everything else wants to eat us or kill us. So you gotta kind of stick together, you know? I have 900 brothers and sisters.
Just stare at you blankly for a minute and go, all right. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't
do you know
that.
these
You
guys
can
or
hear-
what?
You can hear Anna saying under her breath, I will not stop problems on purpose. I will not stop problems on purpose. I will not stop problems on purpose.
All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna walk towards. Oh, we've got a fucking spider carrying this cart. That's good. This is good times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Why did you have to pick such a suspicious animal?
It's alternative.
Yeah. So anyway, as you guys get closer, you can see that that these dwarves are starting to get at the ready, and some more kind of come and pile their way on top of this wall, and you count 8 of them at this point, and
Oh, so they're
Then
all
another
clearly
one.
looking at us. Just wave at them.
oh yeah, like they're kind of like looking at you guys, and once you get within about 100 feet, you hear one of them yell, That'll be far enough.
Stop moving. Alright. Hello there. We are traveling through the Underdark, as you can see. Ignore the poor choice of Beast of Burden.
Where are you heading?
Well, we were looking for, other dwarves, actually, so not here per se, but somewhere like here.
Where are you coming from?
Away from the dinosaur riders. We got stranded.
All right.
We've been on the run since.
You say you're friendly, yeah?
I mean you no harm, and I will assure you that none of my party means to harm you either.
So you would put all your weapons in the cart before you would approach?
I would have no issue doing so.
And your friends?
They're probably gonna steal up.
If they steal our supplies, then they have no business being dwarves. Anyway, because that's how that works.
So
I'm
I will
going to
start-
immediately just once again, just dropping daggers, small hammers, big hammer, big axe.
Yeah, just like it's that scene where somebody's disarming themselves, but they keep pulling weapons from more and more improbable places. Like,
But Gil and Enna, again, doing this for what, the third time?
yeah. But Enna will specifically request to not put down the ritual knife that she dedicated to Asmodeus.
This isn't negotiable. If you're coming in here, you're coming in here unarmed.
Are you followers of Moradin?
I
And you
wouldn't be a dwarf if I weren't.
That's what I correct in myself. To understand that crafted objects are sacred to one's religion is incredibly important. I assure you that knife is for religious purposes only and is not intended as a weapon against us. I give you my word as a cleric of Moradin.
I'll have my eye on her.
That is fair.
Out of character, that's probably a good idea anyway.
Yeah. Well, with Asmodeus and all.
Yeah, right? You're fucking welcome. I'm defending your religious ability to have a knife right now.
Thank you.
So
Enna
as
will
you
put
get
her hand on your shoulder
closer...
and say
Oh,
thank you.
sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, she'll put her hand on your shoulder and say thank you.
You're welcome. I don't necessarily agree with your religion, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't have one.
As you get closer, though, you do notice that on the armor of the one that's been talking to you, there is Moradin's hammer emblazoned in the chest piece.
Perfect.
That doesn't necessarily mean that he's a cleric, but...
It just means that there's obvious support.
And on top of that, his armor is much nicer than the rest of theirs. You would assume that he's probably in charge or something like that.
Okay. Alright.
And, yeah, so as you get closer, the gate will open up, and it's actually raised up, and there are gigantic spikes on the underside of this door, and it looks like they can just let it go with the drop of a hat, and it will come crashing down on any poor soul that would try and charge this gate.
Perfect.
And when you get inside, it's not much. Like, it seems like this entire wall is maybe 15 feet, like you kind of go through this corridor, and then you get onto the other side, and there are these stairwells that lead down on either side of you, sort of under this wall. And then you see that these dwarves come out, 4 on either side, And then the one in the nice armor comes out, and he says, "All right, what's going on here? Tell me the truth."
Good, I intended to, for I will not take another step further into your stronghold until I deal with some matters of faith. My companions, I assure you, are fine. I am the danger here, if I go any further.
What are you on about?
We were captured by Drow recently, and they have done things. To me specifically. I can go no further.
All right.
Until this has been sorted.
All right. Then you'll wait out here.
I will do so.
Cryptic as always.
The rest of you.
Yes.
Come
Yeah.
on. And he leads you down, and it opens up enormously. Like, it's rather beautiful, actually. Like, they have taken way more time than you would think would be necessary on something like this. And John laughs because that is a very dwarfy thing to do, just to make an outpost as nice as humanly possible. But
completely unnecessarily.
he
so,
kind of
here we
leads
are.
you. He leads you into this this sort of like mess hall, sort of great hall area with this long table that has enough chairs for all 9 of the dwarves, and you see that everything is sort of decorated with very beautifully made weapons and shields and things like that, and those ones seem like they're definitely more ornate than battle-ready. The weapons that these dwarves are carrying, have chips and cracks from age, well repaired and well made, but still, shows signs of battle. And he invites you guys to sit down.
I guess I'll
And I will do
not be a
so.
spider.
I
Very
will
awkwardly,
happily
very cautiously.
take a seat.
All right. And then, John, I would like you specifically to roll me a percentage.
Okay.
You can call high or low, please.
I will say low, and I have to have
Okay.
one percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Okie doke. What is that? 27.
You are kind of standing there for a moment, and then your entire body feels very heavy for a second, and you look around, and all of the stone around you seems to be melting in these geometric patterns, and the light is getting brighter as you sort of start shooting out. And you can't really understand what's happening, and so you look down and you can see that your body is below you, and you're just moving up into this amazing pattern of colors, and eventually it sort of begins to form into this great dwarven-made temple. And it seems to extend on for eternity. And yet, with how long it is, you can still see at the end this enormous statue of Moradin.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do?
Well, I am no longer where I was, as far as I'm aware. So, start walking towards the statue, I guess.
is only one way you can fix this, Gilthor.
Stops moving immediately. All right.
You must go to where you were desecrated. Build a temple in my honor. Only then may you be rid of your curse. And you immediately shoot back through these geometric shapes and these bright lights, and you come out of this fugue state, and you're back staring at these cavernous walls. You sort of lick your teeth, and there's still fangs.
Aha. Okay.
And then everybody else, you have been served mead and some steak of an animal that you don't recognize, but y'all have only been eating, rations and whatnot for a long time, so I would assume anything seems rather welcome. Although does Theo eat meat?
I don't think that he's a vegetarian, but I don't think he makes a habit of it either.
Fair enough. And the head dwarf says, Anterodoro, Battlehammer, 56th in line for the throne. What brings you to Hymerum Outpost?
We came here with our friend, our acquaintance, really.
Wow. I see how it is.
Fucking got him.
Yeah, right.
And he wasn't even here.
Gilthor. And, well, to be quite honest, he was really the one with the mission.
Well, if he says he's not to be trusted, I believe him.
Well, that's one thing he's got going for him, is that I don't think he could lie to save his life.
Ultimately, we're headed to the mountains of the Dwarves to seek sanctuary from everything out there trying to kill us.
Well,
Main Dwarven city.
We don't even know why we're here. We showed up randomly somehow in a tavern that began flying. I sound crazy even saying it.
what are you on about?
I don't know.
No, don't. Just. He's a little.
I met him.
Like,
I met him in a
Thank you.
prison. I think they were a little malnourished, and they'd be eating
He'll
some
kind
bad
of nod and get a very understanding look on his face. All right. Well, I don't know if my uncle will take you in. Don't know if he'll even see you.
your uncle.
I'm 56th in line to the throne.
Oh, all right. Now I understand.
But- What? I'm sorry, go ahead.
what would make him not want to see us?
Or contrary-wise, what would make him want to see us?
I
don't
despise
know.
admitting this, but quite frankly, that's a good point.
We've had a bunch of trouble with Drow lately. And if you have any information for him, he might be interested. But he might only send out an envoy to meet with you to see if it's worthwhile. And if not, well,
We could pay him for shelter if that's something he desires.
I don't know if you understand what the Battlehammer clan has, I don't think you could pay him.
Well, it was a thought.
What did she say? I didn't.
No, if there was any way you could get him there, it's with information or from, I don't know, if Moradin himself were to demand it.
What kind of information?
Like I said, the drow are always a problem for us.
Well, we've been
That's why we
inside.
have these outposts. Every single tunnel that connects to the Underdark, we have outposts. We are the front line.
We've been
And-
inside one of their mining camps. We could certainly divulge any of that information he wants to know.
All right. Again, I'm not saying he won't see you. I'm just saying, I don't know.
There's a fair chance he won't, is what you're saying.
He's got no reason to. We've kept to ourselves since the dragon folk started massacring people.
See, I told you this was a waste of time.
Wasn't a waste of time to find out. All right. He
You can
won't
stay the night here if you wish.
say he won't
You'll
let us
find
in.
safety.
If he doesn't, do you have any idea where we could go? Any other neutral place where we won't try and be killed?
Well, he won't turn you away for... You'll get at least a few days if you do head there. And he would probably allow you access to the surface through.
Well, I don't suppose we'll turn that
I-
down.
I just don't know if he'll see you in person. That's all I'm saying. He's not a bad man. He's just busy.
It's very fair.
So I take it this means your clan still has no plans to take the fight to them?
To the dragon folk on the surface. We got enough trouble with the drow and the Durgar.
I'm sorry, the Durgas?
Ugly fellows. Call themselves deep dwarves, but they're not molded of stone like we are.
So they call themselves deep dwarves. And how do you spell that?
D-U-E R-G-A-R, I think? Or maybe E-R. I
Yeah,
forget.
no AR.
Okay.
Glad you had that.
So what is your trouble with the Durgas?
They're like the drow, always looking to expand, take slaves. They don't build as well as we do. So if they can find a craftsman or any sort of leverage, they'll take it.
Well, I'd imagine that few can match the splendor and majesty of the dwarves.
So done.
Aye,
God.
I will admit
All
that
the bullshit you get away with when Gil's not there.
You'll admit that... What was that?
if you do get to go into Stoneholm, which is where me uncle resides, you'll see something special, that's for sure.
I'm ecstatic.
Just that's complete sincerity. It sounds like she's lying, but that is completely true.
I've never been to a dwarven city
Cool.
before.
What brings a goblin... what are you, miss, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm a fire Ganassi.
Interesting. A gnome and a dwarf, a Ganassi and a goblin. Sounds like a dirty joke.
And we all walk into a dwarven outpost.
Yeah, so they will give you a place to stay for this evening, and if you don't have anything else to ask Teodoro, he's probably going to go back to talk to Gilthor then.
And I would like to thank him profusely for allowing her to keep her knife. But other than that, no.
One final question. You don't have supply runs going to and from the mountains, do you? Somebody we could travel with? Caravan of sorts?
Oh my god.
If you were willing to wait a week, we do have supplies coming. You could go back with them.
Good to know. Thank you.
Hey. And he's going to go out and when he gets next to you, Gil, he's going to look at the cart full of treasure and just whistle.
Yeah, that's a dragon's hoard.
The fuck you mean it's a dragon's hoard?
There's a white dragon up in the mountains. That was its hoard. I, using the gifts given to me by Morden, made the cart and we've pulled it with us since.
You killed Icing Death.
Yes.
He'll kind of clap you on the shoulder.
Amazing.
And when he sees, I think he notices then your mouth and goes, "What in the fuck is going on with your mouth?"
The reason why I will not enter the outpost, I fear they can see through my eyes, therefore they cannot. If they don't see inside, they can't know about it. I told you, things went wrong when we were captured by the drow.
Aye. So, are you going to tell me that you came in on a flying tavern too?
He's great. You're right. And Aubrey, Jesus. Okay. The circumstances with which we found ourselves here are very confusing, and yes, kind of. I don't think it was less of flying and more of falling or plane shifting or something of that nature. Magical event, certainly.
Well, I'll be a bearded gnome.
Oh, that's weird because he's a bald dwarf.
Oh, I'm super bald right now.
I forgot about that.
I know, I just remembered it.
Oh, fuck. And I think he'll laugh even harder at that when, knowing that you are bald and beardless.
Yeah, And yes, I see. Things went very wrong.
I don't suppose you could tell me what happened. Do you got a plan to fix it?
I do, as of recently. The problem will require me taking the drow outpost where I was afflicted back. And destroying their work and dedicating the space to Moradin. That is what it will take.
Seems to me you got your work cut out for you.
That's one way of putting it, yes.
Listen. I think we should take the fight to the drow, if I'm being honest with you.
Well, that would make my life certainly a lot easier.
But the king doesn't agree. And I'm 56th in line.
Yeah, I don't think there's any hope for you becoming any closer to being king anytime soon, but
I agree with you, and I'm 200 already.
Yeah, unfortunately. But are there those who are... What is his problem with taking the fight to the drow?
The dangerous. He also thinks that the dragon folk have a deal that we'll get attacked on both fronts or something. I think he's gone mad with old age. Those dragon folk trust no one.
Absolutely not. Yeah, they would kill the drow as happily as they would kill dwarves.
I agree with you. But it's convincing King Battlehammer.
You know what might work? Having the dragon folk have a show of force against the drow and do damage to them. Cut that one right
It
off.
would, but how would you accomplish such a feat?
I mean, if you lure them both into a trap where they think they're going to have the upper hand one or the other.
Seems you already got trapped by the drow once.
Correct. All you have to do is lure some dragon folk in place instead, and all of a sudden, drow are attacking dragon folk.
True enough. But how do you get it to be a show of force enough to really do enough damage?
That's a good question. I don't have the answer to that one.
And also, how do we guarantee that dragon folk don't keep an army? And then we're fighting on two fronts.
Well, it sounds like we're afraid of fighting on two fronts. We need to prove that we won't be fighting on two fronts, and the easiest way to prove so puts us fighting on two fronts.
Or, if you had another army to cover the front.
Do you
Don't know where you'd get one.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, if you knew where you could get one, well, then that would make our lives a lot easier. Just conjure an army from somewhere.
Aye, if you could, I'd be interested.
No. I can conjure materials and carts and many of great blessings of that variety, but absolutely cannot conjure more people to help us, unfortunately.
Any of you guys can come out during this conversation if you want. Like, there's nothing stopping you from having your run of this outpost, as it were.
Incredibly hard to be nice. Will have brought out an ale and like plate for Gil, but it isn't nice. Like it doesn't look nice.
What?
She's doing it out of pure necessity and nothing else.
Amazing. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
She doesn't say anything. She nods at you, and then she'll sort of just turn around and walk away.
Oh, okay, bye.
Hi. How are you feeling? I guess. You sure you don't want me to try to take those teeth out?
I'm good for right now, thank you.
I already took the leg off. Are you sure?
Today will be fine. Without, I will manage.
I can't understand a thing he says with those mandibles in his mouth.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, it's kind of probably a little bit more like this, isn't it?
I have an idea. Like, if we just lower our standards a bit, we could eat his legs and he's just like growing food from us constantly.
What do you mean lowered standards? I've eaten way grosser stuff than that.
So.
Oh my god.
Yes, I suppose she didn't tell you about the battlefield amputation, but don't worry, it was. She'll do like the chef's kiss.
He'll laugh heartily.
I've acquired some very interesting companions, it seems.
Anna, do you go back into the outpost then?
I'm way too hard to be nice, and it's starting to wear.
Teodoro will look at you, Gilthor, and then he'll say, "Listen, you've gotten your friends to follow you through the Underdark. Make some more like that. You might be able to convince King Battlehammer." And he'll go inside.
Perfect.
So what's everybody else doing?
I forgot how to roleplay. It's been so long.
Are they showing us to like rooms, or are we all just kind of hanging out?
There's they showed you to where the bunkhouse is. Like it doesn't really. There aren't really individual rooms except for Teodoro's room.
Okay, and I would like to try to find somewhere quiet to pray, because she's not trying to get caught by these dwarves.
Right on. I think that when you make it pretty clear that you want to be left alone, nobody really comes and fucks with you.
Okay. She just prays, and she's not trying to talk to Asmodeus. Is it Asmodeus or Asmodeus? Because I've heard it both. I keep
I think
stumbling.
it's Asmodeus. I'm going to keep calling it Asmodeus, so.
Okay. Just gonna have to get used to me stuttering with it then.
Fair enough.
And she's holding the knife, and she's not trying to talk to him or anything. She just goes, "I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. I'm just trying to play diplomatic while we're here. This isn't me. Just stick with it.
It's a deception.
Please." Okay, and that's all she's gonna say. She just basically complains to her god about how much this sucks, that she has to try to pretend to be nice to these dwarves.
Zip.
Oh my god.
Gil, they bring you out some, like a bedroll that you can sleep on out there.
Nice.
And I guess we can fast forward to the next morning then if nobody has anything else. And you guys can go out and talk to Gil about what you want to do.
So Gil just spends the night outside?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we slept in the cave before, whatever. It's really no different. Other than the fact I'm now protected by a great wall and gate. So, I mean, like, this is probably the best I've had it in a hot minute.
Boy, that bed and food was something last night.
Oh my god. Just horrible side eye. Question, is the beard starting to at least come back? Is it still...
Oh, yeah. I think that
Okay.
you've got stubble on your head and on your face and on your
Oh,
eyebrows
thank
at
God.
this point.
Holy cow.
I'm not
You
at
look
least...
even more ridiculous with peach fuzz.
I mean, Gil's a dwarf. He doesn't have peach fuzz. Like, at this point, he is... He's like the fucking, midnight shadow fucking shit going on. Like, it's very, very coarse. Like,
It's the 5 o'clock
dwarfy.
shadow that you forgot to continue to keep trimmed to be, like, good-looking 5 o'clock shadow. It's just, like...
Yep.
Kind of...
Yep. Exactly. So yeah, what do you guys want to do?
What's the plan? I'm assuming you prayed last night. Spoke to your god directly.
Yes. So, if you haven't figured it out by now, I've been cursed.
We had... what? You've been cursed? I had...
I knew it.
Yes.
He fucked a drider and now he's cursed.
I don't think he fucked the Drider physic.
Yes, he seems more of a bottom to me.
Yeah, the logistics of that pan out, I think.
Oh my god. We're just
Yeah.
gonna wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, so I learned the specifics on how to remove the curse.
Good. That's elaborate.
They're not very simple, as cursed as a removal tends to be.
Of course they're not.
It's a pretty small thing, though, all things considered. I just have to make a temple to Moradin where the curse was applied to myself.
Make a temple? What does that even mean?
What?
Got specific building requirements or some such?
That won't be that much of it. It will be done, well, if we can manage to make sure Drow aren't there to interfere with that, so the Drow need to leave.
Could we make it a temple for ants?
We just came from there. What?
I
No.
don't think this curse is
Now
going
we're supposed to go back there and kill all the drow?
I don't think this curse is going anywhere
I
anytime
think you're
soon.
insane.
There's got to be another way to lift it.
If that's the option that his god gave him, then that's the
What
option.
kind
going
of
to- I'm going
stupid
to-
ass idea?
I'm gonna cover my mouth as if some outside deity's listening and be like,
Perhaps we could appeal to another god?
Anyway,
Listen, Theo, and she'll just like she'll take his hands, she'll say, if you want to try to talk to another god, you can.
oh god.
But until I'm ready to go off this green earth, that's not going to happen.
Alright, I'll do it myself. I'll do it tonight.
Okay. Anyway, I don't suspect this curse is going anywhere anytime soon. I'm just going to have to live with it and not see the inside of my people's homes for a while. Ideally, we can get the dwarves and rally them to go take back the outpost against the drow. Unfortunately, it seems the king has no interest in fighting the drow because he's afraid that both the drow and the dinosaur riders will attack them simultaneously.
You know,
What makes him? What
Well,
makes him think?
Good question. His nephew was not so sure either.
Why don't we
didn't
just get
like
the
it.
drow to attack him then? And he won't have a choice.
I am
That's
not
just
going to bring violence against my people in deceit. There are things that I have done that have been less than truthful, but I will not do that.
If your god wants dwarves to kill drow, I don't see how this is deceitful. This sounds like doing his bidding.
have you considered
I will
becoming a
not
drider?
lie. I will not lie to his people to get them to do his will.
I think your judgment's flawed because you're turning into one of them drider things.
I'm just
Perhaps.
saying, I've spent a great amount
Yeah.
of time lately being a spider, and it does have its advantages.
Okay,
But
the
you're-
two of you are sleeping on the other side of the tent from now on.
Bold of you to assume I'm sleeping on any side of the tent with any of you. There's
All right.
So, alright, I don't think it's outwardly deceitful, but it is very sneaky and very underhanded. But at the same time, it's not my god.
Yeah. Good point. Good point there, Tim. Yeah, and also Moradin has no interest in just the genocide of drow. We might not particularly like them.
Why did he tell you to build a temple in a place where a bunch of drow would have to be killed first?
Did he specifically say how big the temple had to be? Because if you just build like a little shack out of rocks, they can't really do anything about it.
I am just going to give Enna the flattest possible stare and say,
No.
I'm sure you saw what the underside there looked like. Do you
See?
think any old pile of rocks will do?
This is a male deity. Size matters.
Oh, oh my
But isn't it more about the intent behind it than the actual grandeur of the place? Asmodeus doesn't really have very many temples, but
Temple means a specific thing in architectural language. There is a very specific call there.
Anna's going to walk over and place her forehead very gently on the rock and just take a few deep breaths and then come back.
Yeah, like
And
building a
say-
temple would take a while. You definitely got to kill the drow first.
Well, I think that we're forgetting that one of us is a dwarf that can just craft things.
You are not wrong. It will take a lot less time for me to do it than, say, if one of you were to.
So you're gonna make some shitty 100 gold temple and we'll call it a day?
I thought
All
you
right.
just said that it couldn't be any old pile of rocks.
It can't, which means it will take more than a day. And it will take more than one use of my powers and abilities to make it.
So what are we then? Just your bodyguards while you're...
You
you-
do not have to come
We
with
still
me.
gotta kill the drow, otherwise they're gonna ruin the temple.
Nobody ever said we had to kill the drow if his god doesn't want the drow dead. Building a temple there is kind of defeatist.
You tell me how the drow and the temple are gonna be there at the same time then.
Bold of you to assume that a god won't protect his own domain.
Have you seen what's going on with the dwarves? They're not exactly living in glory here.
Nobody ever said glory had to equal protection. Protection had to equal glory.
I am going to say that if this is a bridge too far for you to travel, you do not need to stay with me.
Yeah, the only gods who seem to have any sway here have scales on them, and they're on the other side.
Our gods are with us wherever we go.
Gil is having a hard time deciding where Anna specifically is on any of this.
She's just trying to start a fight.
Clearly. But just because Gil's like, wait, you're agreeing, now you're just wait, what? Hold on. So, if you would, I would appreciate your assistance in doing so. But if you cannot, I would not blame you.
If we were gonna build a temple this whole time, why didn't we just stay in that stupid camp?
Again, didn't you just say that it would be impossible for both the drow to be there and the temple to exist? Also,
Well,
unfortunately,
yeah, we'd still have to kill them, but we could have like started building it already, you know.
I think
Now we
can-
gotta walk all the way back, fight who knows what on the way there. It's the freaking Underdark.
I think we can find another way.
Oh, okay, Theo, what do you think?
You want to start spitballing ideas? Because that's what we're doing.
That we can find another way. That's what I think.
I know. We summon a
yes,
devil
the
and we make
yes.
a deal, right?
Thank you, Theo, for
You
being
want
a
to make a deal
centrist.
with the devil? I already
Yeah.
did.
Like Bilal. He's pretty good, I think.
Absolutely not. There are things that we're willing to do here, and making a deal with the devil is not one of them. Let me tell you something. I serve the devil. That's not something that we're trying to do, especially since we're trying to build a temple to another god.
So maybe it's not such a hot idea for you to help build a temple to another god then.
Never said I'd help build the temple.
Oh. Well then. Well, you're the most reasonable out of this group. If you're not helping build a temple, then neither am I.
I'm the...
I'm pretty sure this one guy, like, I don't know, they got too much spidery involvement. I don't trust them. Kind of freak me out. One likes to be a spider, the other one's got a spider coming out from the inside.
Zick. Just because I'm not going to help build the temple doesn't mean that I can't give them protection while they do so.
Perhaps the dwarves won't help us take down the drow, but there may be other races and factions out there who will.
Theo, I hate to break it to you, but how long have we been here, and how many, at minimum, neutral factions have we come across?
Well, they're all hiding in the mountains.
That's not even true. There are drow in these mountains. What?
No, on the other side of the mountains. That's where the rest of the
I see.
races live, you guys all recall.
Well, when
So
you
the
think
old-
about it, we've got V.
No,
Is
we
dead.
don't.
But I mean, her people. We found them. We found this fellow here. An old gesture to Physic. That's neutral. And then the dwarves. We're like 3 for 2. Well, if you count the dragon, 3 for 3.
Physic, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you count as a faction?
He said there's.
Oh, you have your mask, don't you?
He said there's dozens of
Clan
them.
Yub Yub?
Dozens.
Yeah. You
Well, yeah. I mean, I was hoping to call a great hunt.
against?
The Dino Riders. Fuck those guys.
So you're telling me that you would be able to bring an army against the Dino Riders?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know how many are left alive. They kind of scattered us.
Mm.
Also, my people are, how shall I put this? Cowards. So they only want to join if they think they're going to win.
All right,
Well,
so we dabble in
The
race
only way
relations.
we were
Maybe
able to win.
we take the dwarves and we introduce them to your lizard friends, and we just merge forces.
No.
Boost
The
morale on
lizard
all
people-
sides.
The lizard people are the enemy.
Yeah, Theo, I think you're a bit confused. Physic is a goblin?
If you call my people lizard people, they're just going to kill you.
So if we get the goblins and the dwarves to make a massive force to both fight in conjunction drow and dino riders, we might have something.
Well, it's
Yeah,
certainly-
good luck with that.
Or one on then the other. Take one, then deal with the other. No problem.
It appeals to me more than a suicide mission.
I would take that. Yeah, agreed. So first step, I think, would be convincing the king here, and then getting Physic to go and do a Goblin's Greatest Hits tour or a reunion tour.
Teodoro kind of comes out from behind us. You know, he's basically just been eavesdropping, and he goes, "You remember when you asked me if I could think of an army?
Yes.
If you're willing to adventure further beyond the mountains, kingdoms of men, they're always a rambunctious bunch. You might be able to arouse them."
Men. Ugh.
Ugh,
Ugh.
yuck.
Ugh.
Just
The
long,
worst.
long ties from the entire party.
I don't
I'd rather
Right.
go with the Yorks.
dealing with them.
If you're for thinking for a second that orcs and dwarves will be teaming up, you got another thing coming, my friend.
Yeah, that unfortunately will not happen. No.
How about dwarves and elves? The elves are all throughout that forest. They could be like,
Well, I feel you send a strong enough force to resist. A number of them will join up by virtue of being able to take their territory back.
I don't think they like sleeping in the trees.
I
Always
mean,
on
Oh,
the
that
lookout
doesn't sound
for-
comfortable.
no, really isn't. Don't recommend it.
I think the way to fight those guys are guerrilla tactics.
Agreed.
Just show up, fuck shit up, and then blend back into the jungle.
Dwarves aren't particularly great at that, but
Yeah, but elves are. And my people can do it pretty well, too.
we rally that, we rally them. Sounds like we're actually going to need to go gather some armies. Great. This curse is going to last for a very long time. God. Just
So-
years of this bullshit.
What? Does this
You're
mean
gonna
you're
have,
just gonna be
like-
growing spider parts for a while?
You're gonna have like this nightly nurse that comes and visits you at your bedside. It's time for your nightly amputation.
God.
We're gonna have to wipe his
Oh.
brain or something. Make sure he's not reporting back.
Oh, shit. Good point. Yeah, that is a problem, actually.
You
Well,
you
shit.
may not be able to join us in the race relations. You may have to stand outside.
Anna, do you think that you could manage? Well, then that might be all we're going to need. I wish I could figure out more of the specifics of what this curse can actually do. Other than turn me clearly into a spider.
We should probably just go and find a priestess of Loth and make her tell us.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be real hard to do without any other complications coming up in the process.
Well, if we just find like a priestess, not like an army. Just
We're
like,
just we're just going to find one.
yeah, you
random
find
priestess.
little. They have little patrols all over. You find,
Okay. Well, if we're ever so lucky as to find one, then...
Well,
maybe-
we can't just run around with this thing in your head spying on us. Like, we're just gonna all end up dead.
I wonder
Yes.
if there's a way I can cancel the effects of the curse without removing it.
Maybe there's something I could do. I don't know, because that would probably protect you from me too, so I don't know how that works.
I mean, protecting... that seems fair, too. I'm okay with that, if I'm being protected from you.
We need a spell that can lower your IQ.
Oh my god. Just make me real dumb for a minute.
It's very simple. That wouldn't work either, because that would undermine the whole purpose of our mission.
I don't think it's like a conscious thing. I think it's like a telepathic link I'd be worried about,
Exactly.
Does anybody have... Oh, just give me a lead helmet.
Tinfoil hat.
Ooh, lead blocks magic in D&D, for real.
Oh, maybe you got one of them brain worms.
It could be more of a brain spider in this case.
Yeah.
Give me a stupid Magneto helmet made of lead.
I mean, couldn't you technically make something like that? As skillful?
Actually, hold up 1 minute, please.
Yeah, would that work?
What? Just 1 moment. Let's make myself a Magneto lead helmet and see what happens.
Yep. I assume that you have the ability to do that, so you make it and you put it onto your head, and
fuck. Holy shit.
nothing seems to happen.
I turned gold into lead. How's that sound? Wait, shit.
Oh, no. That was a terrible idea.
I mean, I don't... See, the problem is it's not something that I would know would be one way different or the other.
You are quite possibly the worst alchemist I've ever met.
Does anybody
I
here...
can barely hear you, Aubrey. Like, I don't know if you're just not close enough to the mic or something.
Is that better?
Oh, significantly.
No much.
Okay. I was leaning super far back in my chair, so that's probably what it was.
You're gonna have to get used to being conscious of where your mic is when you're talking now.
Just holding it in my hands.
She just like duct tapes it to her head.
Okay. So wait,
Literally leaning back and holding it now. So
what if we put a frog in there to get the spider? Yeah?
I was going to say if someone was going to...
Yeah, and then a cat to get the frog, and then a dog to get the cat, and...
and a goblin to get the dog. Do you just want access to his brain? Is that what this is?
No, I don't want this, like... I don't know what kind of
All right.
thing he's got going on there, but do you know who Loth is? Loth is scary.
Question
Yes,
for
I
all
know.
of you involved. You all cast magic, yes? Do any of you know how to cast Charm Person?
I don't. If I was playing any other class, I would by now, but not paladins.
Sure don't.
I can cast command, but that wouldn't do much.
I mean, that works
But
too.
also-
Actually, that also works.
I don't think it's a problem of you willingly cooperating. I think
And,
it's...
no, I'm wondering if you can even cast that spell at my mind while I'm wearing this helmet. Otherwise, I'm going to take this heavy piece of shit off.
Oh,
All right.
oh,
I'll try.
okay.
So I'll try to cast a first level command.
Then I'm not going to resist it. I'm assuming it works.
Nope.
Oh, shit!
Oh, wait. Let's try something harder.
First level command, it shall say grovel, and
Ooh.
it doesn't work.
Tim, what's
Nope.
around that's gross in the area? Something I could like pick up and hold in my hand.
There's rocks and stuff.
Okay, I find something really gross and I pick it up and I cast suggestion on you. Kiss this rock.
Nope.
Now here, okay, now I'm like, okay, so that works. Now I'm going to try and cast a spell. Maybe I can't cast while wearing this either, though.
Nope.
Why
Oh,
would you
fuck.
put that
You
idea
cannot
in his
cast.
head?
You cannot cast spells. No.
Fuck!
You've now become the most useless fighter ever.
I'm the most useless cleric in the history of the world.
Bald Dwarven cleric who can't cast spells. It's priceless.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. Stubbly cleric.
I know that there are other magic items that are a little more elegant than this. I'm sure we have the funds to purchase them when we get the ability to do so, but for now, this is an option.
We got funds, but
We just need to find
I don't know
someone
who'd
who
sell
makes
it.
them. I don't know either, but until we find
Yeah.
a more elegant solution, this will work.
we should like.
Do you know how sad I am that you didn't wait until combat to try and cast a spell?
Oh my god.
Tim, you evil bastard.
It's a really good thing that I actually don't suck with weapons. Because Forge Domain Cleric. But I'm okay with this. I will take this, and I will wear this helmet for a very... Oh man, the hair is going to be a... Oh god. I don't even want to think about it.
Oh, Magneto dwarf.
Yep. But now we know. Oh god. So there we have it. That's how I'm going to temporarily solve this until I can get something that's a little more specific.
Yeah, like the frog.
Watch him later down the road. He's gonna take his helmet off to like try and cast a spell, and he's gonna suddenly get like 4,000 text messages in his head.
Oh. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. Generally speaking, I think I've traded one problem for another problem. And
It's
I don't...
almost like taking that deal was stupid or something.
Oh no, it was incredibly dumb. Like, it was incredibly dumb.
Why did you take that deal, Gilthor?
Oh yeah, now I can talk about it, can't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you feel pretty confident that you can.
Ah, perfect. Well, so then I'm just going to lay out the very specifics of what happened.
Go on then.
Oh,
Wait, you consented to let them put a curse on you?
for your freedom, yes.
I told you we could just like leave.
We also established that that wasn't going to work.
No, the problem was we had to get the stuff and figure out how to get the stuff. That's why
You
we
were-
weren't just leaving.
Yes, I made the deal for all of you to leave safely with all of your things without any complications other than the ones faced by me and me alone.
You really think this is less complicated?
For you?
No, because now we're stuck dealing with you, helmet head.
You have no obligation to stay with me if this is too much of a danger. I understood that could be a possibility. When I
Well, where else am I gonna go?
your clan?
That's a good point.
Yeah, Enna, you might be a little bit stuck.
If I
But
knew where they were, you think I'd be wandering around down here?
I can't speak for Physic necessarily, but you purchased our freedom, so in that regard, we're in your debt.
Oh no, we're slaves?
oh shit,
Ah!
that is not. If that is how you feel,
Only
then I
one
cannot-
way to deal with being a slave. You have to kill your master.
No, we're not killing him.
Well, then he better set me free.
You are not my slave. Excuse you.
I'm saying he purchased your freedom. It's not
Very
actual
well.
slavery, it's voluntary slavery.
That's not a thing. You can't be a voluntary slave.
Yeah, calm
You're
down there,
either-
Kanye.
A volunteer or a slave.
Obviously, your sex life is not as interesting as mine.
I don't think that that's what we were talking about, but go off, I guess.
I mean, we're asexual, so just grow a little goblin right off the side.
You should.
That's canon now. That's how goblins reproduce by budding.
Physic, you should build us an army.
Oh my god.
I've got to get in the mood.
I don't think it's just an on-command thing. I think,
Yeah.
you know.
I gotta hear the war drums. You know what I mean? I'm only
You
10.
best
I'm not
believe
ready
that
to
at
have a
the
family.
you must best believe at the most inopportune time you're going to start budding.
Excellent.
We're in the middle of combat. We just hear a baby goblin crying. Physic!
So don't worry, the incubation period's very quick. We don't care for our young, we just let them fall, and that's that. Life's shit, get used to it. To the wards.
Oh, fuck, dude.
I'm so glad you picked a goblin for me.
Okay, so
I know more about goblin reproduction than I ever would have hoped to know in my entire lifetime.
more than I wanted to.
Yeah. You should see what puberty's like.
I didn't ask, and I am not asking.
I was impressed. Just
Oh.
okay. So she says, so. So so you said that to hang on. I need to get a hold of myself.
I no.
Deep breaths.
Okay.
So if he's right, first of all, we're technically in your debt. I don't want to be in your debt, and I'm gonna make it very clear that I don't want to be in your debt. However, we kind of have to be, and since you can't deal with any of the relations, one of us has to do the talking.
Well, if I keep this helmet on, I absolutely can.
That's
Oh,
true.
I'm great at talking. I love to talk.
That's yes, but being great just because everyone can, just because you can talk, doesn't mean that you should.
Oh no, I'm really good at convincing people stuff. I do it all the time. That's why I led my little goblin army. I gave great speeches.
Wait a second. That's right, you did.
Yeah, the Great Hunt. It was a lot of fun. Glenn, yub.
All right then.
Okay,
So-
so he's got the helmet, right?
Yes.
So we're not gonna go and murder the drow yet, even though that's clearly Mirrodin's plan.
Really the best option. We're not going to kill the drow, even though that's obviously what we're supposed to do.
It is not a requirement to be a follower of Moradin to kill drow. However, it does seem like there are very few options other than killing them or running them out of town.
Yeah, it's called Dwarven gentrification. You go murder all the drow so that the property is worth having, and then you build your little temple.
Oh my god.
It's called gentrification. Oh my god.
Yeah, I bet you didn't know goblins do words like that, but we do.
Listen, I didn't know that I never said that I didn't know goblins were quite so
Yeah.
loquacious.
You got to diversify.
Goddamn.
So we've got the helmet. I think the next course of action is to just head off.
If everybody's in agreement, you guys can set off.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Are we waiting a week in caravanning, or are we just trooping in ourselves?
Gil, you would imagine that it's pretty safe once
From the
you've
out-
gotten
yeah.
beyond this outpost, and so
Outpost
it,
and-
you know what I mean. You guys can wait for the caravan if you want, but it doesn't seem super necessary to you.
Well, there would be no need to necessarily follow with it. If there's an outpost here, between the outpost and the main city, we should be fine.
Very well.
Teodoro comes over and hands you a scroll that's sealed with
Oh, perfect.
with a hammer, and he says, "This should get you in the gate."
And there are no beholders, perhaps, between here and there?
No, definitely no beholders.
Good. Don't want to deal with another one of those.
Plenty of hook horrors, though.
Everyone disliked that.
Right.
Oh no, like legitimately, guys. If you guys want, we can fast forward to the city. Like, there's literally nothing to worry about. Like, they have this shit on lockdown.
Yeah, we'll just make our way there then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be fine to do. It's just,
I'm just trying to corrupt some
How-
dwarven youth.
oh my god.
How's everybody doing? We want to keep going for a little while longer, or do we want to stop there?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's-
No, let's go.
I'm-
Because I just realized I can cast by enhance ability on all of us. It will be
Oh.
the most charming fuckers ever.
Oh my god! No, you can't cast it on me.
Except you and your stupid helmet.
Which is fine. I'll take that. I'll have the best backup dancers in the world.
Hootie and the
Basically.
Blowfish, but worse.
Yeah. I just feel like it took us 20 minutes to have this conversation, character. I don't even know how long it's going to take us to get into the next bit with characters. That's all.
Okay, alright, here we go. Let's go. I'm ready.
All right,
Now we're rolling.
Oh, all right.
Brian.
If y'all are on board, I'll stick with it.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
I just sound so damn happy about it.
Yeah, you don't have to be like jumping for joy over there. Damn.
Don't
So
everybody jump
as you approach the massive cavern that Clan Battlehammer has made their home, you can see that there are Dwarven patrols making regular parades around the outer walls that are, you would guess, somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 feet tall. This cavern looks like it extends maybe 1,000 feet up. You can see that there is this enormous keep in the center that is rising up above, and it goes almost halfway up to the ceiling. And it's got, very sharp angles to it. It's, very blocky and square, but massive. And it doesn't seem as though there is a single seam for any of the stones making up these walls, this keep. I mean, it is perhaps one of the most impressive things that any of you have seen. And because it is still the daytime, there is this enormous sort of yellowish crystal that just kind of casts this gentle hue to sort of remind everybody that it's daytime in the city. And it's not like sunlight in any way, shape, or form. It's just enough warmth so that you can feel like maybe you're not in an enormous cavern, except for the fact, that there's no sky. But when you get to the gate, some dwarves immediately rush out to meet you, and you hand them the scroll, Gil, and one of them kind of looks over it and waves you inside. And when you guys get inside of the gates, which again, the gate is designed the exact same way, where it goes up into the wall and has these enormous spikes that can just be dropped down at any time. And when you get inside, you see these huge stone golems that have these large rubies in the center of their chests, and they're just like statues on either side of this tunnel that kind of takes you through the wall into the city. And when it opens up, there are dwarves everywhere, and they're all doing something and bustling around, and you are told to wait for them to go and look into this and talk to some more official people and to kind of figure it out. And so you guys are just kind of chilling on right inside of the gates and just kind of waiting. What would you like to do?
Is it a free action to cry?
It is, yes.
Okay. Yeah, like holding back tears, absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna do that. That's. Yep.
All right.
Oh,
Shopping episode, anyone?
Well, we do have a thing of gold.
Yeah, we got some dosh, as it were.
Well, I wonder if these guys deal with mithril chain at all.
All I know is I need to find an artificer immediately.
Yes, if we're going to upgrade
What
our
we
armor
get.
or weapons, there's no better place to do it, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I will swear that there is no better place to do it. I might be a bit biased, but you can't blame me.
After maybe 20 or 30 minutes, a dwarf who is wearing very similar armor to what Teodoro was wearing, but this dwarf looks much older. He's got a giant garish scar going across his face, like in between his eyes, sort of starting at the center of his forehead and then going down to the left side of his jaw. And he goes, "All right. What are you doing here?"
Where did this guy appear from?
He came from down the way, it looks like the center sort of thoroughfare that's leading towards the keep. It looks like he came from the keep.
You a cop? What's with the third degree?
he probably
I'm
needs a
Justice
cop.
Battlehammer. I am here to figure out what in the fuck you're doing here.
So do we know what was written in this, writ that we were given?
It was sealed,
Okay, so
so
we do
unless
not
you
know.
opened it.
Said,
Which-
let
which
these
we did.
assholes in and murder them.
God. We seek tongues. 1, we seek shelter, and 2, we seek an audience.
What makes you think the king will want to see you?
It's a good question. I did not think about what our bargaining would be on that one.
We have information about the interior workings of the Dwarves mining facility.
That's it's not mining. It's cattle. Food.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
the Drows.
They're
we
bovine.
have
Camp.
Agriculture.
No, we
the
Trade.
Drow supply source.
Cast that
Ah,
eagle
yes.
splendor now.
Yeah, that might be valuable.
We have valuable information considering the source of the Drow's supplies.
We have
Okay.
valuable
Like-
information of a bovine nature.
Don't fucking say anything.
All right. Don't know, but suppose it's not for me to decide. So come along with you.
We don't have a witcher.
And
Very well.
he starts to march off towards the keep. And you guys make your way through this thoroughfare, and when you get to the gates of the keep, he says, "All right, wait here." And he goes inside. What do you guys want to do?
Are we supposed to wait?
Yeah, we were told to wait, so I'm
Yeah.
not about to not do that.
Okay.
Oh, what do we do with our
And
cards?
it's just leaning against a wall, trying to be cool, basically.
You know, the person who's
I think at this point, somebody's brought you an ox to pull
Okay.
the cart with.
good. As I say, because I was gonna be.
No, you don't get to keep that damned ox.
Could we buy it?
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
And then he goes inside the keep.
He's like looks at cart. Can we buy it? Just like looks at just giant pile of gold and platinum. Like we have.
Can we buy it?
Probably. If you were shaking the magic 8-ball, all signs point to yes.
Anyway.
And you guys are waiting for a significant amount of time. So if you want to have any conversation or something, you can. But otherwise, it's going to be like an hour before he
Okay.
comes back out for you.
So we could turn around and be like, okay, so we actually need a plan. What are we gonna
Yeah,
say?
let's make a plan here. Well, this is your idea, right? I thought we were gonna sell an intel.
Well, yes, but here's the problem. From my understanding, the king has been very resistant to taking any militant action against either the dinosaur riders or drow.
You know, it's
I
not
can't
too
say I
late
blame
for my
him.
plan. We
I
just
don't blame him either,
we
but
just piss off the drow and lead them here.
we've
I
also
don't- It's not a good
One of the
idea.
guards outside the gate kind of raises an eyebrow at you, Physic.
What did I say? It's not a good idea. Drop it.
Your friend at the outpost seemed... Well, actually, I don't know if I heard this or not. We did kill a dragon. That might give us some
and
street
I
cred.
I was about to bring that up. He was like, we did kill one of the dragon, lizard, dinosaur riders' most prominent weapons. I don't know how you describe a dragon like that.
It's a siege weapon.
Basically, we have that. We know things about the drow. We know things about both of their enemies.
We know things
which
about
are-
the elves if they care.
Yes, we do have information about what the elves are doing in the forest, which they might not have. Good.
We have an ambassador from the goblin tribe.
Yes. Okay. Good. I like where this is going.
It's a
Haven't-
clan, not a tribe. Jeez.
We have an outside dwarf that brings information and a really, really shitty beard.
I'm telling you.
so
We just go down there and we like make plans, and then we say the opposite of what the plans are when he takes his helmet off. Bob's your uncle. They don't see it coming.
I was also just going to say we have lots of money. If there's anybody in town who could make a magic item that's a little more elegant than just a chunk of lead on my skull, it might be more beneficial.
I think that's a good look for you.
Physic, how did you know my Uncle Bob?
I mean,
Oh my god.
I guess all you druids just look alike to me.
So is that what we're gonna go with?
That's all we have.
We're just going to put all of our cards on the table? I mean, I think that's probably our best bet.
We got nothing left to do.
You have no reason not to.
Fair.
I mean, either that or we can find out why they're just hiding here and not doing anything. Maybe they're scared of something.
Perhaps we should. All right. What we do need to discuss this. What do we want from this fellow? Is it information exchange? Do we want shelter? Do we want his army?
I mean, we'd have to somehow be able to prove that we could muster force and use that information. Though, granted, calling around a dragon's horde probably is, some credibility there, yes?
Yes.
Is there anything that you want, Anna? We've been talking a whole lot about this general situation. What do you want?
That's a dangerous question.
I understand that. I'd figure I'd like to know before we go much further here.
I don't really have anything, to be honest.
In general, what do we all want? Is there some goal we're working towards? Are we trying to get home? I wouldn't mind getting home, but I also don't have much to go back to.
I'm gonna kill every last one of those dinosaurs.
And
Yeah.
he did mention the race of men. At the very least, perhaps it's a peaceful place.
Have you met men?
Well, that's
I
true.
doubt that to be remotely true.
I'm half man, and that's quite accurate.
From what I've seen, there's a lot of different races and people that were all destroyed by these draconians, and so like they'd be all keen to team up and beat the crap out of them. I think.
To be quite honest, there is one thing I do want to see those dragon folk. Fun, I suppose.
I can tell you, I am growing exceptionally weary of running and trying to preserve my own life. I need some sort of purpose and something to do. So if we're going to go full on, kill the drow, and that's our mission, I shall dedicate myself to it. I would just like to know.
Well, the motivation against the drow is certainly much more personal for myself, but dealing with the dragon folk who have forced my people into such seclusion would be something I would like to see achieved as well.
The only reason that drow are a problem are because people are pushed underground to try to hide. But there's no food underground, and people are living in mountains where it's like winter all the time. So if they don't fight, they're just going to starve to death.
Okay.
If I set about trying to make this horrid, wretched place better for the lives of those who don't want to constantly flee or kill, well, I suppose that's as good as life purpose as any.
All right. Sounds like, well, we might be coming at it from different angles. We have an idea of what we want now.
Very well.
So now we know what we have, now we know what we want, and hopefully we'll be able to negotiate better.
At that point, after you guys have decided what you want to do, you are summoned inside. And when you make your way in, it feels like a temple. Because it's just this long, open, pillared corridor, and at the end there's this giant throne, and obviously there are stairwells and things going up into other parts of this keep, but this main antechamber is impressive. The tapestries depicting all of the Dwarven conquests in the past, depicting Moradin, molding dwarves from stone, depicting great battles. And you see upon this golden throne, there is a very old dwarf. And his golden crown has made his neck sort of crane and stoop with age. And as you get closer, the justice, the dwarf that summoned you in, he bows deeply and then backs away. And the king waits for you all to do something.
So this is what you meant by a temple's specific definition by architectural standards.
Notice how there's no drow here. Cleared them out. Built the temple.
I assume that Gilthor is going to be the one to approach.
Yeah, and I'm going to do the... Well, actually, I don't know what, like, if there's any specific difference between what an appropriate greeting for a king here would be.
I think just
You would probably think to just bow, just like
I'm just gonna
Justice
do...
did.
Yeah, I'm gonna mimic said, motions and whatever else is appropriate, whatever sign.
Grovel. They always like it when you grovel.
You can do that, I guess.
I'm a champion groveler.
I thought those were kobolds. Anyway.
damn.
So, my son tells me you have information I would find valuable. Speak it.
That is correct. Would you like information about the drow, the dragon riders, or the elves of the forests first? Or lizard riders, not dragon riders.
They do ride dragons from time to time as well.
Them as well, I would assume.
Not anymore, they don't.
Well, freezing death not anymore. We took care of him.
That would explain the immense pile of treasure.
Well, so before we continue, which would you like to hear first? About the elves, about the dragon/lizard riders, or the drow?
Tell me how you killed Icing Death.
Okay. So I don't... How do we want to go about this one? I don't...
Did you? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, we lured it out of its lair, did a lot of damage to it, and then chased it back into its lair and finished the job.
Impressive.
Your
Completely leaving out the part where, I got yeeted into a freezing hole of water.
Teamwork, Your Majesty.
It was teamwork.
Not to mention our initial plan didn't work.
No, we're skipping that. We're also same thing. We're taking down a Tyrannosaur. We're skipping the fact that we dug a hole and didn't use it.
Less meta, more RP, please.
Okay. So. Oh, jeez.
You guys got plenty of time to plan, so.
That's true.
That is true.
I don't know,
Well-
man. This is Gilthor's deal. You're gonna have to just do this.
Fuck. All right. Well, anyway,
Come on, dwarf boy.
I don't have the extra charisma. Anyway, so we dealt with it. We lured it out, and when things did not go as we had intended, we were able to chase it back into its lair. Fortunately, we were able to react when it thought it had the drop on us. Killed it, took its goods, and ended up back down the mountain where we were.
What happened after that?
After that, we continued to travel through the mountains in search of any cave entrances that might possibly lead us underground. We were informed by a late companion of ours that the Dwarves lived in these hills and these mountains.
They were not wrong.
Oh no, Brian, don't you curse me with that. And so, unfortunately, though, we fell into a drow trap, which is why we have information about the drow.
What information do you have?
There is an outpost of theirs located in where we were. I'm going to hand-wave that one. Where they produce what seems to be a lot of agricultural product for the drow. They keep slaves there and move them around. We were able to leave and escape with our belongings at some personal cost to myself, but otherwise we were able to escape their clutches.
They're planning operations against the dwarves.
Would your fangs have something to do with this cost?
Yes, unfortunately I was cursed. That's why I wear this helmet. It prevents magic, just generally speaking. I am no longer able to cast Moradin's divine gifts, but I am also free of the effects of this curse for the time being, other than the physical ones that have manifested already.
I see. What of the Dragon Riders?
They are continuing to be aggressive and expanding their territory, and it does not appear that they will stop. I suspect the loss of freezing death will not stall them from continuing their outward push. It might slow them down, but I suspect they will still be moving out. They seem to have no interest in leaving any territory untouched.
I am 506 years old. I was crowned king when my father fell to these dragon folk over 400 years ago. We were decimated. My people eat mushrooms. What do you want from me? Why have you come here?
My companions and I seek change. We seek to end the blight that they have brought across. You said they decimated you in the past. Dwarves are strong people. We are not cowards. We do not hide. Not forever.
We've come here to offer you a chance.
We have and intend to find others who wish to fight. The territories of men, we understand, past the mountains. Also, here we have
Spits on the ground when you say that.
I understand your hesitation. I truly do. But you say our people eat mushrooms in these caves. Is working with men less than desirable than having this existence? We also
Men
have
will
here.
never agree long enough to create an army large enough. It's a fool's errand.
So,
Men unite very well if you make them afraid of something. That's how we got them to decimate the orcs near us. We made them think the orcs were killing them. Yeah. Clan Yub Yub.
I've not heard of your clan.
Zick. Well, we were like up in the mountains. We were free until just a couple of years ago. And then the Draconians came in and kind of wiped everything out.
Met up with him.
They're getting bolder. This
They're-
means they plan to move beyond the mountain.
Yes. They won't be happy until they wipe everyone out, which is why we're going to have to take a stand.
Do you honestly believe dwarves and men and you four can stand against the dragon folk?
it's not a matter of whether we can or not. It does not seem that we have much of a choice. Either we sit here for another 100 years and wait for them to kill us in our homes, or we take the fight to them with as much force as we can muster.
My nephew speaks highly of you. don't know why.
And we're here to speak, and one of the reasons we're here is to speak highly of your nephew as well.
He has served honorably at the outpost. You must understand, without guarantee, I'll not give these people hope.
What?
There is a status quo. It is dismal, but it is honest. I'll not break it without good cause.
What do you want?
Would we?
What will guarantee this?
You must find someone to support us. We cannot do this alone.
But if we do this, you're on board.
If on the off chance that you can raise, say, 10,000, yes, I will help you.
Okay.
But that seems no simple task.
Getting this far for us has not been a simple task either. It is just another thing for us to do. We shall see it done. Thank you for your time.
Easy. I know a lot of goblins. Didn't say how big they had to be.
Gilthorpe.
Yes.
Gilthorpe, or Physic just goblin hubs up an army, and we come back hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah, all right. I would like to see that in some form of formal stamp, so that if I am going somewhere else, to be like, hey, here's an official missive that says if we can raise enough people, they will also include their force into this.
Yeah,
You know.
it'll be like the banners that we can call, and then we'll go writing in.
We'll do that.
Yeah, he absolutely gets you a scroll with an official stamp on the bottom of it. This one open so you can read it. The gist of it is just I King Battlehammer pledge to Gilthor. What the fuck is your last name again? God damn it.
Strongheart.
Strongheart. Do pledge to Gilthor Strongheart that if under the circumstances of an army of 10,000 or more ready to go against the dragon folk, he will commit his army as well.
All right. The first step in our unholy alliance to commit genocide.
No.
What? Have I
I do
misrepresented?
think that's where we're going to leave it for tonight, though.
That's fair. All right. Damn. Yikes.
Like I said, John, I think that you were going to get something kind of cool tonight.
Yeah, you weren't wrong.
I can't believe you made a Magneto help it.
I can't either. I sat there and went,
Tim was like, okay, you just get no magic.
I love that you said it as a joke, and then the gears started turning in your head, and you're like, wait.
I'm like, would this work?
I've tried dumber ideas in the past.
Yup. That is exactly one of those statements. Like, I can make anything out of metal. Lead is metal. Also, that probably cost me like 2 gold to make. It's like 2 gold worth of lead. Just amazing.
I thought it was a good idea, and I didn't want to punish it. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure that there were drawbacks, but I wanted, you know what I mean? Like, I thought it was a good idea.
For 2 gold,
that's a pretty fair trade, making him lose his
I'll take
magic.
it. I mean, like I said, there are magic items that I might be able to get that would be a much more elegant solution, but they're significantly more expensive and much harder to find than
I also don't think that necessarily Gil knows offhand what those things are.
No, I have no idea. He has no idea. Like, absolutely. No idea.
Yeah, I have a feeling that there's not very much like caches of magic items and stuff since everyone's hiding.
And eating mushrooms. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to be widely available for sure. It is going to be a hot minute before Gil can use magic again. God damn it.
It strikes you that the meat that you must have been served by Teodoro must have been being saved for something, and so the fact that he did that was kind of crazy. Now that you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
A lead-lined shelter.
I mean, here's the thing. I could do that, but that would be incredibly heavy to carry around. Like, that'd be as heavy as our entire cart's burden.
Oh yeah, dude. There's no way your cart could take that and the amount of fucking treasure you guys have.
We would need, like, 16, like, draft horses.
Maybe we can convert a bunch of this treasure into like gems, so it's easier to carry around. We don't need this cart.
Yeah,
We can see about that next week if you want.
Convert to smaller denominations, just basically trade the money for gems.
Yeah, if we can just get down to not having to have a cart all the time, that way our druid can talk.
God, right? Yeah, nah, there's some logistical things that we might be able to solve well here at least.
I feel like
Yeah.
my character suggests that, like, well, then I could talk, and you're all like, nah, we're cool.
Do you have to?
Right.